Alrighty, once again, we're at the New England Authors Expo here at Northern Essex Community College. Right now, we're talking with Brennan. Brennan, talk a little bit about your book and, a little bit of your background, if you don't mind.
Of course. Well, I'll start with my background.
Okay,
I've lived in Haverhill my whole life, so it's actually really nice that my very first signing, my very first authors event is here at the place I actually got my associate's degree from. It's a kind of nice full circle.
Right, for sure.
So I was homeschooled first grade through 12th, got my associates here working on my bachelor's at UMass. I just decided to write this book about a year ago. I guess you could say
pick it up.
yeah, I guess you could say I guess you could say I got the writer's bug.
Yeah.
I had a story inside, and I just started writing in between classes, and one thing led to another. I've started looking at publishing companies,
Yeah.
designing cover art.
How
and
was that to find a publishing company? Was it easy or hard?
It took a little bit of research.
Yeah.
It did. I eventually found Kindle publishing to be very easy and intuitive to go through. Very easy to format the book as well, and very easy to work with.
Yeah. And talk a little bit more about your book, more details.
So this is a fiction novel set in the year 2042.
Yeah.
And basically what it's about is all the nation's economies have been going down over the last couple of years. One or two nations have risen as being strong, and they decide to take some more land to be their own, and one of their targets is New England.
Yeah.
So the Russians invade New England and try and push mostly through Maine. With the United States being very weak, its army can't really stop them. Our own army can't stop them. So the citizens get up, band together, form various militia groups throughout the front lines and try and push the Russians back. And that's where the story starts, is about a year after the initial invasion. They're trying to push the Russians back into this. They have limited power. They're trying to make do with very little equipment. And it kind of just details their new lives now on the front lines, occasionally being sent back to relax and have some fun, going back to their tents. And
So do you get involved with the characters a lot? Do you get into detail as to some of the people?
I try sometimes. It's behind a mask of professionalism, because you're trying to right when you're in a military-like environment. There's times to express yourself personally, and then there are times when you just have to focus on your job.
So where did you get your ideas?
Actually, I was at an antique show, like a Todd's Farm flea market, years and years ago, and I saw, if I can just grab this real quick.
Yeah.
I saw a green version of this patch for sale, and I loved the design of it.
All right.
And I'll show it up here.
Yeah, sure.
It was a green version of this, and I absolutely loved it, and it reminded me so much of Maine. Just the old arrowhead. In case you can't see, it's an arrowhead and a powder horn.
Uh-huh.
And it reminded me very much of old 17th and 18th century Maine. So I started running some ideas through my head.
Yeah.
One idea led to another, and eventually I was led to using this patch as the patch of the 25th Regiment, which is one regiment in the book.
Yeah.
They decide to wear this patch to separate them from the other regiments. There are about 100 total.
Excellent. Do you have any military background?
My father was in the Navy for 10 years. I think my great-grandfather was an aircraft mechanic. So you
have some technical knowledge.
Indeed. I was in Civil Air Patrol for 5 years at Lawrence Airport, the Essex Squadron there. So a lot of knowledge of military customs and courtesies, uniforms, drill, ceremonies. I got the idea for the regiment formation. I modeled it off of colonial American Revolutionary War era structure. So there's some elements of history if you look close enough, but there's also some modern twist on it.
And how long has this book been out now?
Only about a month or so.
Okay.
It's my very first book.
Excellent.
My very first book. I'm just trying to get it out there, get it published, get it in the community, I guess.
Any indication of having a part two or
yes.
further
I'm hoping to make it either a 3 or 4 book series. I haven't decided yet.
All right, great.
So,
Oh, good. Thank you. Well, it's great knowing
you very much.
Good to see you.